Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with 2 of these plastic bottles from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take some of this nutmeg brown paint by Apple Barrel and add a nice little glob of it to each of these bottles, which I'm going to be using them as vases because I think they're a great shape and height. I'm also going to take some of this Mod Podge that I have to use up. It's in a gloss and it's so thick, so I'm going to use a craft stick to remove a nice glob for each of these containers, like this. Now I'm just going to take some water. This is just my spray bottle. I'm just going to add some water just to make everything a little bit more fluidy. And I'm going to take the same craft stick and stir everything really nice and well. Now I'm going to take this container and swirl it around to get the whole inside nice and coated. And now to get the edge nice and coated, I will use a little dish. This is one of the little glass dishes from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to pour and just keep rotating this jar or this bottle like this until I get it nice and coated. And don't worry, we'll be using all this paint throughout this video. So I'll just let this dry. Now here they are, nice and dry. I'm going to take some of the puffy paint from the Dollar Tree and I'm just going to create some little designs, some little faces, little eyes, little nose, little mouth, and some little wiggly lines going all the way around. And then I also do little dots here and there. Just whatever I felt like would be cute. Now on this one, I have a little bit of a mess here, so I'm going to take a tiny peppermint, place it there. So if you ever make a little mistake, just embellish with some peppermints. Now this one doesn't have a mistake, but I'm going to go ahead and match. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of this puffy paint and add a peppermint on the same little spot, like this. Now just set them aside, allow them to both dry. Here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take some of this fabric that I had left over, and it's a nice long piece, so I'm just going to create a nice big floppy bow. And all I'm going to do is tie around the neck portion, making sure one end is longer than the other. Create my little loop, go around the loop with the longer piece, put it through, and create the bow. And pull and just kind of finagle it to get it to how you like it. Get it as fluffy as you like, as floppy as you like. There's some little pieces of threads here that I don't mind. Just gives it a little bit of interest. Now I'll do the same thing to the second one. Again, just kind of wrapping it around the neck of this vase. Looks like a bottle. But anyway, and then tying it, making sure one end is much longer than the other, like this. And then just create my loop, go around the loop, and then go through, create the bow, and then pull it nice and tight and finagle it a little bit until you get it how you want it. Now all I'm going to do is add some greenery, and that's it. Here's how they look and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 2, I'm going to take this little frame that my sweet friend Norma gave me. She gave me a ton of crafting supplies. Oh my goodness, she was so generous. And I'm going to take my heat gun to soften up all this adhesive, and I'm going to try to pry this open. I tried my Cricut spatula first, but no, it wasn't strong enough, so I'm getting one of the big guns out. One of these tools from the Dollar Tree, and that did it. So now I popped out the back, and I'm just going to remove this embellishment of this pumpkin. We'll see that later on, maybe another month for fall time, for fall DIYs. And I'm just going to continue to remove all these pieces. And I'm just going to remove as much as I can. I'm not going to fuss over it too much because it will be covered. So now I'm going to take some of the Mod Podge, this is from the Dollar Tree, just the matte. And I'm going to do a nice generous amount and do a nice thick coat all along the whole piece. And I'm going to take this piece of gingham fabric that I had left in my Dollar Tree stash from when they had these really cute fabrics for Christmas. Hopefully they'll bring them back because this is so adorable. So I'm just going to add this piece. It's a nice square. It fits almost perfect. Just a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Bigger is better. Better than not bigger. And I'm going to see if it fits. Everything fits pretty well. Just trying to see all the edges. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Now I'm going to take some more of the Mod Podge and do another coat on top just to seal it all up like this. Now this is almost dry. It's not quite dry, but it's almost dry. And I'm going to snip off all the excess. And now I'm going to take this little gingerbread man that I had from last year. It was from Amazon and I had painted it with a coat of nutmeg brown. I'm going to go ahead and use some of this paint that I still have from the jars. And I'm going to do a nice thick coat. So remember, this paint's got Mod Podge on it as well. So it's paint with Mod Podge. It's got a little bit of water too. This is just a little bit of sand. And I'm just going to pour this on top just to give this little gingerbread man a little bit of texture. It's not much sand, but it's a little bit. It has some little chunks of sand too, so I kind of removed those bigger pieces. They're like little rocks, but that's okay, whatever works. And do another coat just to cover it all up. And you can use anything. You can use sand from the beach, from the playground. You can use craft sand. Some people, they even use cinnamon, and I bet that smells good. So yeah, so I'll let this to dry. So just right here. Just gonna allow this to dry. Kind of give it a little bit of texture, a little bit of dimension here. Now here is my top. I'll go ahead and add some hot glue along the edge to place this on top. And then that way I'll have this ready, just like this. So here's the little block. I'm going to go ahead and put that back on. Press it down. Now I wanted to see if this would fit, but I didn't like the way the block was showing. So in my stash, I had this doily from Amazon, and I just added some hot glue, placed it on top. And now I can do the gingerbread man on top of that, and I think that layering is really adorable. So I'm just going to place it like this, allow this to completely dry. As it's drying, I'm taking some of these buttons that I had left. Those were from the Dollar Tree, and some of these strands of fibers that were from the fabric, and I'm going to string them through the holes of these buttons. And instead of using puffy paint for this one, I'm just going to use these little buttons with the little strands of fibers to make it simulate like they are the threads that were left on the buttons. So now here it's almost all dry. So I'm just going to hold the buttons by the strands, add some hot glue, and place them in the center. Kind of finagle it, get it nice and straight. Here's my second one. Again, a little bit of hot glue, place it on top. And then this one just give me a little bit of a fit. But you know, just do the best you can. Just finagle it and get it. And then here's the last one. And just place it on there. And get it nice and straight as much as you can. This has a vintage look. And then some of these strands were just a little bit too long, so I went ahead and then just trimmed a little bit. And now for embellishments, I'm going to take that same fabric, made a little tiny bow, place it on the top of her head. And then in my stash, I had one of these little tiny rolling pins. So I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue and place it on one of her hands. And that is it. Super cute. Here's how it looks and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to take this framed piece from the Dollar Tree that my sweet friend Norma gave me as well. And I'm going to take it apart, Remove the backing. It's pretty easy on these. It's almost like a picture frame. And then I'll remove these roses. They're made out of foam, and we'll save them for another time. Now I'm going to use the same paint that I still had left over, and I'm going to use some white, but I do end up using the brown as well, just like that. Here's how they came out. So I'm going to set aside the frame for now. I'm going to take this other doily that I happen to have in my stash, and I'm going to take some of the Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree and a small brush to help me get just a tiny little bit out. I'm going to add some into my little lid. That way I don't have to keep digging in the bottle. And I'm just going to do little bits on each of these pieces, on each of these points, these little flowers. Add a little bit more Mod Podge. I didn't do enough. And then go ahead and brush onto the rest of this piece. I think this doily I got from Amazon as well. It's a different size. I think I got like 3 different sizes. Some smaller ones, I think a cotton one, and then these are more of a polyester, I think. So now I'm just going to flip this over and press everything nice and firm on there with my fingers. Now here are 2 more of these gingerbread men from Amazon, and they are painted in that same paint. I'm going to place them in this manner. I'm going to take hot glue for these, place them down, and this will also help the doily stay in place better. Here's the other one. Place it like this. They're just 2 little kids playing around. And now I'm going to embellish these with some of the puffy paint from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to have at it and do little eyes, little nose, smile, and some little squiggly lines along the head. And then do the second one the same way. And then I do little zigzags on the arms, or little buttons in the center, and little zigzags on the arms and the legs. And I just do my thing, just have fun. I'm trying to turn this in the right way because I'm a lefty, so my left hand needs space. I don't want to get my arm full of, or my wrist full of paint. Surely that would happen if I'm not careful. So here I'm just going to finish up 3 more little buttons, and then I'll allow that to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to place this frame on top just ever so gently. It's not really in place, it's just there for the moment. And I'm going to do some more embellishments, just some squiggly lines like this, real long ones. Can't see the bottom one, but this is going to be just the same as the top. And then a long one on the side, being careful not to touch any of this paint. And then one more, and then I will allow all this to dry and set so we can continue. But it's looking ever so cute. Now here it is, nice and dry. Now I'll go ahead and complete the embellishments. I'm going to take another piece of this fabric. It's all pretty crinkly because I had it kind of wadded up. But that's okay. I'm going to create a piece to go on here. So I'm just going to kind of measure, kind of guesstimate how much of this I'm going to need. And here I'm just trying to figure out how much. And it's pretty crinkly, so I'm going to go ahead and press it down, get it nice and flat. That way I have a better idea of the size of this thing, because it's pretty bad. So I just take the time to press it down, get it nice and flat, and I'm liking it. So now I'm going to place it back on my piece and kind of guesstimate where I'm going to cut this other end on the right side. So I'm just going to do a little snip, and I'm going to tear it like that. Remove any threads that are obviously too much. Get it nice and straight. And I'm pretty happy with this piece. So now I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue, just tiny little bits, just 2 lines, one on the top, one on the bottom. Flip this back over carefully, placing it on my piece and tapping it down with my fingers. And then I'll take another piece for the bottom. This other piece here, I'm going to do the same thing, kind of guesstimate how much I'm going to need. Snip a little piece with my scissors, rip off the excess, remove any excess threads, get it nice and flat. Pretty happy with it. Do the same thing, flip it over, do a couple small little lines of hot glue, press it down, get it nice and adhered. Now I'm going to take some of my Scrabble tiles, and I picked out what I needed to create the phrase baked with love. And I'm just going to place them on this piece of fabric like this. Now I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and adhere all the letters onto my board and fabric. Now I'm going to place my frame back on, make sure everything's going to fit. It does. I'm just going to flip everything over. It's a little easier to place into the frame like this, and then press down all the little tabs, secure it in place. It's looking great. Remove any webs. Those little glue webs are everywhere. Fix this little arm here. This little arm here got caught a little bit. There we go. Now to continue the embellishments, I'm going to use some of these little candy canes, and I'm also going to use some of these little puffs that I made last year, and I had them still in my little stash here, so I'm going to use them up. Well, some of them anyway. I'm just going to take 4 and using a little bit of hot glue, place them on the corners. And now I'm going to take the little candy canes. They're just polymer clay candy canes that I got from Amazon maybe a couple years ago. And I'm just going to place them on their hands because they're kids. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to take 2 of these wooden Dollar Tree ship wheels. They come in this package. They look like this. My sweet friend Norma gave me a ton of these. So I'm going to take 2 and paint them in that same paint. And I'm going to take another new puffy paint from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to do a little bit of embellishing on these. I felt like they're a circular shape, so I see gingerbread. So I'm just going to do a quick face, eyes, nose, mouth, a little bit of the little smile lines. I was getting a few little air bubbles, and that's where I'm over here struggling just a little bit. And then I'm doing some little teeny tiny freckles just to make it look extra cute. Teeny tiniest ones. And then I'll just go ahead and do a little squiggly line going all the way around as best I can. Like this. Yeah, it's looking like a gingerbread. And then I do the same thing to the second one. And I'll set these aside, allow these to dry completely. Here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take some of the tumbling tower blocks. These are the brown ones. And I'm just going to create a little stack of tumbling tower blocks. I'm just going to adhere 3 together like this. And then I'll do another few sets of these. I think I do 6 sets total like this. Now I'm going to stack 3 sets together on top of each other. I'm going to add some of the super glue wood glue and very carefully place these on top. Everything is still wet, so I'm just going to have to be very careful. And here's 2 sets, so here's one more set that's going to go on top. And then I do the same thing to the second set. So now I have 2 stacks of 3. And now I'm going to very carefully pick up the first set that I completed right here, and I'm going to add some of the glue to the sides, and I'm going to place them together to make a nice block like this. So I'm just going to work very carefully because everything is still wet. You can still see the glue coming through, and it will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this around. Now I'm going to take these wheels, I'm going to add some glue to the side or to the bottom part, place it against the block, and get a heavy bottle of paint to help hold it in place. Do the same thing to the second one. Place it against the side, making sure everything is centered and even, and placing my bottle of paint against it. Now here it is. Everything's nice and dry, looking great. Now I'm going to take some of these peppermints, these plastic peppermints from Amazon. The Dollar Tree does have them, and I'll show you here a picture of how you can find them. They're on these little trees. If you can find these Christmas trees. And I added one on each of these little pieces of the wheel. Now I'm going to take a bow that I'm going to recycle. I had it for something else, but I removed it. And I'm just going to figure out which side is going to be the girl side. This will be the girl side. The other side will be the boy side. And my gingerbread napkin holder is complete. Here's how it looks and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, I'm going to take some of these tumbling tar blocks that I had in my stash. I'm going to use the brown ones, that way I don't have to paint. And I'm going to use 12 of these because I'm going to make 4 bundles of 3. And I'm going to use the super glue wood glue from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to adhere these together like this in 3s. Here's one more, place it here. And then I do this to all of these and make the 4 bundles like this. I'll set these aside, allow them to dry completely. They don't take too long. Here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm going to take my puffy paint and I'm just going to create some little squiggly lines on the top and on the bottom. And then I'll just make a little face on the front. And I do the same thing to all 4 of these. These are super easy to make. These are great for maybe for a kid craft. These are going to be little magnets for the kitchen, for the refrigerator. Yeah, little gingerbread magnets. So simple. And then I'll just set these aside, allow them to dry completely. Now here they are, nice and dry. Now all I have to do for these is take some magnets. I thought I had more of the Dollar Tree magnets, but I couldn't find any. So I did happen to have these super magnets that I got from Amazon. But if you have the Dollar Tree ones, those work great too. And I'm just going to add a nice glob of glue and place 1 magnet on the back of each of these little pieces like this until I get them all complete. And really that is it for this one. This is super easy, a great little craft. I'm just going to show you here that everything sticks great. Everything's magnetic. Yeah, this is a fun craft for the kiddos for sure, to make little magnets. Super fun, super easy, and cute. Here's how they look and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to scan it and come follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays, as well as TikTok. Here's my QR code for there. Here is my QR code for Facebook, also Monday through Fridays, as well as my Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there. And here's my Lemonade account as well. And my Threads account. This is my handle, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my Home Talk QR code. I invite you to come scan it. Post on there twice a month. I do have a Facebook crafting group. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite one. Well, I'll take a moment and say thank you for taking time out of your busy day and watching my video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. I am super excited to bring back gingerbread DIYs for you guys. Christmas in July is one of my favorites and I just can't pass it up. So definitely there'll be some new videos coming up every Friday this month with gingerbread goodness and a couple little surprises here and there I'm going to add as well. So definitely stay tuned. And I'd like to take a moment to thank my sweet friend Norma for all the crafting supplies. I'll be using a lot of them coming up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Till my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.